What's going on, everybody? Psych Perspectives, GeoFlex in the building. Huge shout out to all of the anti-Afro fraud warriors. I want to give a huge shout out to Lynn and Honor, Anti-Afros Bengalis, What's Happened to Common Sense, The Rev, Flowers and Jelly, Tanya Bluevet, Monty Woodgrain, Conscious Energy, Make a Change, Black Anonymous. There's so many people. Creole Hair Angel Doll. So many people. Let's Have Fun with E and J. So many people. But major shout outs to Anti-Afros Bengalis and Lynn and Honor and Make a Change, because there's a couple of people who've been doing this for almost 3 years of bringing you information, links, so you can do your own research, showing you the discrepancies, showing you the hypocrisies, breaking it down, showing you where all the information that you need so you can, and also showing you where you can go and look up the information so you can do your own research and be informed when it comes to Umar Johnson and the FDMG school buildings, to the shockumentary, to the shockumentary mixtape, to the we're gonna restore Black Wall Street, to I'm gonna be doing business in different countries in Africa. So many things, so many different, scams and flights of ideas that Umar Johnson has had. But this one here, well, this last situation, really, to me, you would think would put the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, if you will. Because this time, I just want to know, how are the Umar Johnson supporters, delusional fans, cult members, the Umarians, how are the old Umarians going to, what is their comeback going to be to this interview that Dr. Umar Johnson had on the radio with a Christian-based radio show, Christian-based Black radio show, and went on there and went ham? What are the Umarians gonna say? What are the Umar Johnson supporters going to say? Like, what is your comeback to that? Now, I'm gonna put a disclaimer right away. Some of what Umar Johnson said in the interview is very true. And I'm going to even put another disclaimer. Some of the stuff Umar Johnson says is actually spot on. However, the other 60-70% is bullshit. And that's the problem. It's like, and this is what I've noticed the whole time. I've been following Umar Johnson since 2011. It is 2020. It has been 9 years, honey. I was a freshman in college when I found out about Umar Johnson. Okay? I'm just saying, it's damn near a decade here. And technically, it is a decade, because in 2010, I was graduating high school. In 2010, that's when he first told all of us about the FDMG school and the school for Black boys. And we're going to save our Black boys. But as Lynn and Honor pointed out, there's video footage and audio clips of this. Umar Johnson wants to kill 10% of the Black boys because, as he said, some of them are unreachable. And we're going to have to go into civil war, particularly with Black men, are going to have to go into civil war with the Black boys, about 10% of the population, according to Umar Johnson. He's the one with the PhD and all this other shit. So I guess we should just listen to what he says, right? Anyways. But what happened on the radios, and let me, again, another disclaimer. I'm spiritual. I grew up in a Kojic household family. My grandmother is still heavily Kojic, the family Kojic. And if you don't know what Kojic stands for, it's an acronym for Church of God in Christ. I grew up in that. And by the time I was 11, I was like, this ain't for me. Okay, and that's just real. I'll probably do a video on that as well later on. And the Black church, it's a very touchy situation. That right there also needs to be a video that I would like to do with my good friend Mark, because Mark is heavily not only into church, but he's also a historical, he's into politics, social justice, so he can give more of a non-biased, or at least look at both sides view. And then I will give my opinion in the video. That'll be something hopefully we can get done. Hopefully when we go to LA in April, we can do that. But anyways, so what I want to talk about in this is that the black church, it's a touchy situation, you know? There's some positives, there's some negatives, there's some neutral zones. For me, there's a hell of a lot more negatives than positives, but that's just based on my experience and what I went through, right? So don't take my experience and think the entire, you know, entity of the black church is bad. Because I don't necessarily think that it's bad, but I don't think that it's good either. So that's why I said some of what Umar Johnson said was very truthful. I mean, it was. However, the interview was horrifying, first of all. And maybe, again, I was raised by my grandparents. My grandparents, rest in peace, Papa, were born in the 40s. In 3 days, my grandmother, Lord willing, will be 75. And granted, y'all know I talk about narcissistic mothers and grandmothers and all the shit that I've been through and went through, but at the same time, still my family, right? So I was raised by them. So I was always raised with, you respect your elders. And I'm just sitting here listening to the radio interview, and Umar is just going in. I mean, over talking the man. Every time the man would try to get, 2 seconds in, Umar, well, actually, no, brother, this is really what's going on, brother. This is really what's going on. I mean, let the other person talk. Can they get a minute in? No, not with Umar Johnson. Then they're on a Christian radio show. And you can clearly tell the man is older than Umar. And Umar is cussing. He's not cussing. I'll put it like this. He's not like, how some people, every word is a cuss word. No. But he is throwing in cuss words, right? And it's just kind of like, no, wait a minute. This is a Christian radio station. The man you're talking to is an elder. And this is how you're conducting yourself and communicating. Now, granted, just because you're an elder doesn't mean we should kiss your ass, because we have plenty of elders who ain't doing shit and have contributed to the demise of the black community. Let's just be real. So I'm not saying, walk on eggshells and kiss ass, but I'm just saying I was raised with at least come with respect, right? You don't curse with the elderly or the people that are older than you, right? I'm not gonna talk to older people that are older than me like I'm gonna talk to my peer group, is what I'm saying, right? So then he's just cussing and he's yelling and he's clearly agitated. And don't get me wrong, the part I will agree. I do not agree with Botham Jean's brother and father's reaction to the Amber Geiger trial. Your brother was shot and killed in his house while eating ice cream, and you sitting up here hugging and talking about how you forgive the person who killed your brother. However, I don't agree with that. But at the end of the day, if that's how, and I have to be responsible too, because I was angry and upset too, and I made a video. You can go check it out. Back in October, I made like 2 or 3 videos. Go check it out. I have to, now looking back, I also have to calm myself down, because at the end of the day, I would never forgive you. I won't be hugging you. I won't be fixing your hair. I won't be doing any of that. But if that's what they chose to do, that's what they chose to do as individuals. And that ain't on me. That's how, if that makes them feel, and that's what I did appreciate about Lynn and Honor's video too, is the fact that, again, if that's what makes them happy and makes them sleep at night and make it easier for them, then that's for them. But for me, no, I can't get with it. But anyways, so that's what, he was going in and in and in. But this is where he lost me. First of all, he lost me a long time ago, because we've been noticing all the lies, the discrepancy, you know, lying about buying school buildings. He's sitting up here talking about he buying a school building in Southfield, Detroit, or Southfield, which is 18 to 21 minutes away from Detroit. And I live in Michigan, so I can easily drive my ass down there at like Monty Woodgrain and be like, nah, bruh. But anyways, we've seen the discrepancies, right? But to get on the radio station and do all this, but this is where I was like, wait. So the pastor is like, well, look, or the reverend is like, the spiritual person is like, my brother was killed in a robbery. We forgave the person who killed the robber who killed my brother. And Umar went through all these series of, well, are they white? Are they black? You know, he wanted to have a whole background context to it. And the religious pastor, reverend person was like, they were black and I forgave them. Now, this is where, like I said, if you pay, and Lynn and Honor does such a great job. Anti-Afro, y'all are amazing. Shout out to the Anti-Fraud Warriors. And shout out to Lynn and Honor for having the Rev on there. Like, that was dope. And shout out to the Rev. But so then the next thing that took place, he's basically like, well, black on black crime is okay. We can forgive our brothers and sisters, our people. But because, you know, systematic and and oppression and racism and white supremacy and the mental abuse we've been through, we can forgive each other. But then we can't forgive white people or non-black people. So if a non-black person does something to us, we can't forgive them. But if it's a if it's another black person, we can forgive them and we can just keep letting shit go. And I'm like, no. I'm gonna do a video too on what I see as a problem in the black community, but that's a whole 2020. Come with me, because we going. And again, we just watched Umar essentially lose control of his emotions completely, which is ironic because remember last week, black women are emotionally weak, which to a certain degree, I agree with. However, Umar Johnson is emotionally weak, and Umar Johnson is a cisgendered black man, which brings me to my next point. If the black cisgendered women are emotionally weak, then so are the black cisgendered men, okay? And we literally watch Umar act irrational and erratic all the time. He's yelling, he's screaming, he's threatening to kill people. He's killing 10% of the black boys for good. He is doing all of this, right? He's talking about physical harm on anti-Afro Bengalis and Monty Woodgrain and any of us that talk about the discrepancies and the hypocrisies and the blatant lies that he spews. And this is coming from a school psychologist. This is coming from a PhD. This is coming from a master's degree. Which brings me to my next point. And I'm going to say this. I have a master's degree. Just because someone has a master's degree, a PhD, a certificate, any type of college education, doesn't mean they know more than you. Doesn't mean they're better than you. Doesn't mean they're more intelligent. It really doesn't mean shit. Basically what it means is we are dumb enough to go into debt for a piece of paper to learn about shit that you probably already know. And you're also really good at regurgitating shit that other people, so you can throw it up and pick it back up. So they can throw in some lessons and then you can, I understand it. And now, basically, you're good at following orders. You're good at being a slave. And that's really how I view it. So don't let someone who has an education or a college degree or some type of certification look down on you. Okay? Don't. And if you don't go to college, doesn't mean you won't be successful. Because I know plenty of people who are much more successful than me and many other college degree holders who are sitting around like me in debt. Anyways, so you got all that. And he's just wiling out. And again, this is showing the constant erratic behavior of Umar Johnson. I mean, what is going on? And then you're begging for $2 donations? What is going on? And then Umar Johnson's father comes out with another, he's not attacking his son, he's attacking his son's message. Even though this has been his son's message for 10 plus years. And at this point, I'm quite sure that if it's your son's message, then it's coming from your son. So therefore, if you're attacking your son's message, then you're gonna have to attack your son because the message is coming from your son. And this has been going on for 10 years. So this is a pretty, consistent track record of being an asshole. 10 years, a decade, that's a big chunk of the same patterns of behavior. So I'm not understanding what you mean by okay. But I get it. It's your son. So a lot of people, they don't, they have a difficult time holding their children, their loved ones, their friends, their families, held themselves accountable. So you can see how he's just like, I'm not attacking my son. I still love my son. You can still love your son, your daughter, your child, and still hold them accountable. And I feel like that's another problem in the Black community. There'll be another video. Stay tuned. 2020 coming hard. But again, we can talk all day. Oh, and then yes, I am a part of the LGBTQ plus community. The alphabet warrior, honey. I'm here, honey. So yes, leave all of your homophobic and transphobic comments. We know it's coming. I mean, again, a lot of y'all are extremely predictable. Okay, we know you're a bigot. You're gonna drop the same comments. Oh, you guys are obsessed. You're obsessed with Umar, Big Papa, King Conscious. Oh, why are you hating on a black man? Oh, what have you done for the community? First of all, why do we need to tell you what we've done for the community? But since you asked, I will have a video up of that. And you can actually look me up. Search me up under my dead name. And it will tell you what I've done. But okay. And which brings me to this. Those of us who actually do things for community, or just do things because it's out of the kindness of our heart, we're not going to be posting about it. I'm not going to be filming it 24/7. I'm just going to be doing. But I get it. We got to have receipts in this day and age. So I'm going to give you some receipts. Videos coming soon. Stay tuned. But we know what y'all about to do. Y'all about to do the same thing. And guess what? Come closer. Come closer. I'm going to continue to make videos. So are other people. The anti-Afro fraud warriors are going to continue to be on Umar Johnson's ass. So I guess you're going to continue to leave comments. I'm continuing to make videos. It's a revolving door, man. Hopefully, Umar Johnson will get the help that he needs, right? And stop doing this stupid shit. Stop scamming people. Stop taking people's money and lying. Stop leading people on. Stop acting irrational, cussing people out, threatening people's lives. Stop doing what you're doing. And like I said, I do honestly believe, granted, all of this is alleged, right? All of this is alleged. But I honestly do believe Umar Johnson has a drug issue and Umar Johnson has mental health issues. I have mental health issues. So again, you can kind of say, takes one to know one. I have mental health problems. I've been in counseling and therapy going on 8 months now. I know. So it's like, again, I'm looking at the behaviors, the way he's acting, the way he's conducting himself, and it's just like, he has some issues. And on top of the fact, there might be drugs and other things going on. Allegedly, but let's be real, okay? And then whatever money is left over, refund the money back to the people. And then once, if he does get the help that he deserves and needs, then we can do some restorative justice practices and you are going to do some retribution. You're going to work your money. You're going to work for the people that you screwed over. That's what we would do. That's what we would do in, you know, a part of Kwanzaa traditions, if you will, right? Restorative justice. And honestly, isn't that what Umar said? You know, we have to understand where people are coming from. If they're black, well, we can kind of see you got some issues, brother. And you gonna work it off by doing this. But that's only if he chooses to ever get help. If not, we're gonna continue to get hate comments from the Umarians, and then we're gonna continue to come back with facts and articles and links, and it's just gonna keep going and going and going. But I would just hope that now that we're in 2020, you know, 10 years of the FDMG, I would just hope we would stop doing this. I would just hope after a decade, y'all would have already had a school open, you know? But okay, we shall see. The point is, if you see that interview or listen to it, that was insane. Y'all, again, I don't know how y'all gonna explain Umarians. How are you gonna explain this? Come on, bruh.